Alan, is quite a sight. It was a long day, make no mistake, but it was an honor to be on the honor flight. Anchors away at the St. Petersburg-CLEARWATER Airport. Long before dawn, 80 World War II veterans in tan shirts are about to take off for a day they'll never forget in the nation's capital. Among the group from West Central Florida, 2 vets from the Pines of Sarasota, 89-year-old sailor Bob Flint and 98-year-old soldier Bob King.
Are you really?
Another 98-year-old.
98.
God bless you. We love you.
And off we went into the wild blue yonder, watching the sun rise as we flew up the eastern seaboard.
My veteran, Donald.
2 hours later, our charter flight landed, and some well-wishers welcomed the vets as they got off the plane.
Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Thank you very much for all you've done for this country. Thank you.
Our first stop was the 10-year-old Air Force Memorial, where the vets from West Central Florida were greeted by active duty vets who had come to see them. A camera crew hired by the Air Force caught the moment on tape. This is the 25th trip for the Ohio-based Honor Flight organization and the 4th for one volunteer who says he is in awe of what these vets went through more than half a century earlier.
These gentlemen and some ladies have been through hell and back, and we're lucky to have them citizens of this great nation.
For many of these great citizens, it was their first trip to the National World War II Memorial. It was established in 2004, back when Bob was in his mid to late 80s. On this day, it was the setting for a major photo opportunity that drew plenty of attention from passers-by. For many of these veterans, they say the biggest surprise of the day was the reaction they received from total strangers.
It's such a pleasure to realize that the people acknowledge the fact of what we all went through.
You really do feel that today, don't you?
Yeah, you sure do. You sure do. It's a good feeling to know that they care.
While interviewing our Suncoast vets at the Korean Memorial, 2 men of Asian descent stopped, saluted, shook hands, and posed for pictures with Bob King. It was a moment not lost on Bob Flint, who had served in the Pacific Rim.
It feels very good, especially after seeing the memorial that we just saw.
As we returned late afternoon to the airport, applause broke out from the floor below, but it wasn't for our vets. It was for the active duty veterans returning from Germany. It was a moment not planned, but one those around won't soon forget.
That's pretty awesome.
But some 2 hours later, and 1,000 miles farther south, our World War II vets would have their own airport homecoming that many would say was beyond awesome. The nice welcome off the plane began to snowball, and a line of people clutching flags, holding signs, and shaking hands continued all the way down the hallway. Hundreds of people had come out to see these veterans and welcome them home as if it was 70 years earlier.
Welcome home.
Good to be here.
Yeah,
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
The crowd of people packed the lobby with music and a picture. Days later, the Pines of Sarasota held a welcome home party for Bob King and Bob Flint, who had time now to reflect on that whirlwind day in Washington, D.C.
The trip was a wonderful trip. Everybody was first class with service.
I thought it was fantastic. From the start, and especially the end, the congratulations at the airport was unbelievable. But the monuments were great, and it was a great tribute to everybody that served in this service.
I get the chills each time I watch that story.
Wow.
So sweet. Each trip costs about $70,000. Honor Flight raises donations to pay for the flights.
Great.